En la cocina, en la cocina, en la cocina, en la cocina.
Yes, welcome back to another episode of La Cocina podcast. This is episode 11, True Colors. And I'm so excited because as y'all have known, we've been on break for the month of August. And we're ready. We're ready to get it back popping, right?
Yeah. Back popping?
Back popping. We back popping.
Yeah, right?
So, yeah, let's do a little bit of reintroduction. Because things have changed. We know that things have changed. So yes, now we're both on. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome my co-host and enter in my brand new co-host, Adriana Rivera of La Cocina podcast. Yes.
Hello.
Honey. This is the official welcoming. The initiation process has already begun.
I'm excited.
Are you ready?
I am not, but we'll make it through.
Of course we'll make it through.
Yeah.
So yes, let's talk about what we have on the agenda for today, honey. So let's pull up the topic, shall we?
Yes, please.
Oh, see, I did it on the wrong side. Okay, I have to scooch over here. Scooch over here to take a look.
You got that side angle.
Right?
Oh, hey.
Okay, so listen, here's what we're doing. We're doing an August rush recap. So we're going to talk about what happened during the month of August. My hair, though. We're going to talk about what happened in the month of August. Yes. And we're going to talk about our September rebrand because we're rebranding this month. We're actually throwing up all of our favorite, thus far, female creatives. And honoring them on the show because I don't want to say season. That's another thing. Can we talk about that just briefly?
Please do.
Yeah. Last, I guess, season, the first 10 episodes was with my best friend, Katana J, who has since moved to Atlanta, and we wish her the best. Adriana stepped in, and now we have Adriana, so we're going to talk about all of the new things we have going on. We have our interview with speaker, mentor, and entrepreneur, Janine Hernandez. She's lovely. She's so lovely. So we're going to be talking to her about all of her new endeavors as an author, as a tea line owner, JJ and Sons Tea. So you don't want to miss that. And finally, just our final thoughts of, you know, how we feel going into this new venture together. So without any further ado, let's just go right underway with it. August, the month of August. I didn't have my microphone up this whole time.
Oh, I can hear you.
Well, obviously you can hear me. I'm hoping everybody else heard me too. I feel like I'm loud enough. So, yeah. But let's talk about August and what happened. So towards the end of the summer, I had gotten word of Katana J leaving us. And again, I do want to shout her out. We love you. We hope that you're doing well in Georgia, which I know you are. And then out of nowhere, it kind of like came full circle once I had you on the show twice.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you know, this clicks, this works, it feels right. So just for those who maybe didn't catch in the first season, again, not the first season. This is like 1.0. It's not season 2 yet. I don't think we're there yet. So this is like the second half of the first season. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think so.
So let's talk about you and what you have going on and what it is that you're about so people can get more familiar. Adriana Rivera.
Okay. Hello. So basically, I'm a mama of 3 little girls.
Yeah.
Right. So, and other than that, there really wasn't much of anything happening in my life. And like recently, it dawned on me that I needed to do more and be more of an example to my kids, right? Because they're all girls, and so like they're looking at me to be that example. And so recently I've started really focusing on promoting body positivity,
Right.
and kind of just teaching them a little more of what it is to have self-love and that self-confidence and everything like that. So, you know, this whole rebrand that you're talking about, it's kind of been for me too, kind of just redefining who I am and what I want to represent, and being here with you, especially with everything that you're also trying to represent with La Cocina.
Yeah.
It is just such a big deal for me. So, you know, I'm so excited.
I'm excited
I
too.
really am.
I'm excited too. And there were some things that perhaps in the first season that I didn't feel that we got to touch base on, and a lot of that was my fault, you know, because in the beginning of starting this show, it's not to say that I had no direction. I definitely did have a direction, but it kind of took a turn when I realized, you know, I didn't give you guys enough about me, who I am, why it is that I'm doing this, what it is that we're doing. So I kind of wanted to start over in a sense and explain a little bit further. Those of you who are not familiar with the show, those of you who are just joining us for the first time, maybe, this is La Cocina Podcast. It is my baby that I have created in May when Katana J was here. And a little bit more about myself is that my name is daniree. I'm a media personality here in New Jersey. I have interviewed artists and entrepreneurs alike, both at a celebrity level and not. You know, I enjoy also interviewing up-and-coming people as well. So that's some of what you'll be seeing on the show, is finding people who I find interesting and talking to them about their story, and seeing what they have cooking in their cocina, you know, what's inside of them. Because I believe we all have a kitchen in which we're constantly creating and cooking and doing things. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yes, and there's a lot of unique things
Right.
that everybody can kind of bring to this kitchen, and I love that.
Yes.
I love that there's so many different flavors, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna continue with
Yes,
these puns.
yes, absolutely. No, of course, and I'm here for it.
Everybody's bringing these flavors.
You know, and when we first started, it was like I always had to. I almost kind of put expectations that were not unrealistic, but I set the bar really high, and I felt that at the end of the day, it was kind of, that within itself was kind of dragging my creativity, you know what I mean? Because I put too much thought into it. I wanted it to be too perfect, and that's not what it was meant to do, you know? And it's been said a lot as of late that nobody really posts their failures on social media,
Right.
you know? And I don't think that's necessarily true, especially if you look at my Facebook or my YouTube channel, or go and follow us. Hang on, we're gonna do all these shameless plugs right now on La Cocina Podcast on YouTube. Shout out to the YouTube community who has embraced us. Please like and subscribe our videos, and just continue to join in with us as we go through the motions. Also, you can follow us on Facebook. Hasn't our La Cocina community been growing though?
Yes, there are so many people on there, and I'll see a few names, and I'm like, oh look, it's this person. I'm so happy.
It's been awesome. It's been an awesome experience. So we do want you guys to get involved. La Cocina Podcast on Facebook, as well as La Cocina Podcast on Instagram. So please come and join in with us as we continue to develop, you know, what La Cocina is. I'd be lying if I said that, you know, I have a clue of what's going to happen every time we're coming on live. But
we don't have to have a clue. At this point, it's like, you know, I feel like this is a lot like, right, my grandmother's kitchen. It's like, I'm hungry. What are we going to eat? Let's just figure out what we got.
Yes.
Throw it on the table. This is what it is, you know, this is what you're going to get. And I like that. I like that it's authentic, and that it's not scripted. It's coming from a very real place.
Absolutely. So we look forward to all of the stuff that, you know, we have going on. What did we do in August? Because we did some
So
cool
much.
things. We did some really cool things on our time off. So let's talk about that. We went to
Feminine.
Female-centric 4. Yes. Female-centric 4. What an awesome time that was. Shout outs to Stereotype Co. Shout outs to Unicorn Empress. Female-centric 4 was a platform for all of these creatives to come and get together. It was artwork. It was poetry. It was spoken word. It was performances.
It was beautiful.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
I had such a good time. Shout outs to Dave Noodles, by the way. Who will be on the show next month.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that.
Dave Noodles is a clothing line designer, clothing line, what's the word? Good God. Not creator. Clothing line creator. Jeez, too many C's. Listen, we'll get it together, I promise. But he's a clothing line creator. He's a mentor. He is a media personality, and he's just awesome. We were so embraced. Shout outs to Staten Island, Female-centric 4. Ashley will be coming on the show.
Yes.
Ashley Barrios, tattoo artist. Nicole as well, who is an artist. Nicole Trejos, I believe her last name is. I don't want to butcher it.
Yes.
T-R-E.
J-O-S?
J-O-S.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure. You know, my
gotta make
Spanish
sure you
ain't
roll
always
the
very
R,
good looking.
right?
And that's another thing. Now that we have you on board who speaks fluent Spanish.
Muchas gracias.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say for now.
Yeah, so
I'll hit
maybe,
you with some stuff later.
maybe you want to tell our followers how to find us in Spanish. How about that? How's that for a first challenge?
Oh, okay.
So let's start with YouTube. Tell them to join our YouTube channel and to follow us there.
Well, YouTube is YouTube in Spanish, right?
Okay, yeah,
with a little
okay.
accent. I'm about to throw the Puerto Rican Spanish at y'all, okay?
Okay.
Para los que nos están siguiendo ahora en La Cocina Podcast, por favor encuéntranos en YouTube, @La Cocina Podcast. Nos puedes encontrar también en Facebook, en La Cocina Podcast. También búscanos por ahí, que nosotros estamos cocinando cosas buenas, ¿yeah?
Okay.
And on Instagram, like, 'cause you gotta say it with the accent. En Instagram, por favor, síguenos también. Dale por ahí un clic a La Cocina Podcast en Instagram.
I really like this.
Nos vemos por ahí, yeah?
This is the beginning of a beautiful thing. Okay, so now that we have all of that out of the way, can we talk about what we're planning as far as September? Let's go through the line. Shall we go through the lineup of people? Here's the thing. I always want to announce guests, but then I feel like if I announce the guests and that for some reason it doesn't pan out or they can't come or something happens, then I look like a fool. So what do you think we should do?
I think you did mention a few people that we're gonna be having on in September anyway. That are definitely gonna be here.
Janine Hernandez is here.
Yes.
We're doing that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Deal.
That's already there. And then I know for a fact that everybody that you mentioned, I think pretty much is golden. But I don't know, maybe we should.
Well, next week we have rapper and hip hop artist Nee, who is formerly known from the Remy Girls. She was signed with Fetty Wap. She's an 11-year-old hip hop artist, super, super dope. She'll be here next week. And then afterwards we have Ashley and Nicole from Female-centric 4. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, we will have Samira Gibson, and I'm super excited for her. She's an R&B, contemporary R&B singer. She gives me so many Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill.
She has a lot of soul.
Neo soul vibes.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I'm so looking forward to all of these different females that we're going to that are going to be representing in a big way.
Yeah. So make sure you stay tuned.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't want to miss out.
No, not at all. So please subscribe to all social media platforms. Make sure that you subscribe, press that little bell. You know that little bell that tells people
notifications.
When we post it? Yes.
Notifications.
See, I knew it was a word.
That way, yes. As soon as we go live, your phone will be buzzing no matter where you are.
And you'll know that it's us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, okay. So now a lot happens. We're not getting rid of our trending topics either. This is just the opening to what it is so that you guys can get to know a little bit more about us. But we don't want to lose our trending topics because a lot of people really respond to our polls and stuff that we do.
Yes. And there have been a lot of things worth talking about.
Like.
How
about a surprise
Yes.
birthday gift that Eminem delivered to Joe Budden?
Yeah, talk about he took Kamikaze, the word, and just like played on it real quick, because let me tell you, the bomb that was thrown, I heard those. I was listening to it on my way to work, and I'm not very gangster. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
and like I felt my full gangster vibes. I really did. I was like, yo, it's about to go down.
Okay, but
here.
listen, all right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give the album?
I want to say, I like Eminem.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I want to say it's like probably like an 8, because there were a few tracks that,
I didn't care for normal.
Yeah, that they were like, okay, he's a lyricist. He has the talent, and you can hear that in whatever he puts out. But as far as like the vibe that it gave me, I was like, all right, okay, cool, next.
Yeah.
But there were some things that just kind of like offset that so much that it was like, all right, you have redeemed yourself.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I really do think that this album was light years ahead of Revival in a sense. Because Revival, I'm sorry, and I'm a huge M fan, but I didn't care for Revival.
Yeah.
And I honestly felt that maybe Eminem had finally plateaued and reached his peak. I was shooketh for him.
Yeah.
I really was. He had me concerned. But, going into the album, I listened to it the day it came out, and I really tried to like take all of my expectations out, and just sit there and just listen to it for what it was. I appreciated that. I kind of felt like it really did have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yes.
So that was cool. I love the fact that he incorporated his skits with the manager, Paul Rosenberg, and spoke about, and actually got, I felt like he was very honest with this album, like that skit with Paul Rosenberg where he talks about, like, are you sure this is something you want to do? Like, this is a slippery slope. I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
I think it was a fantastic idea. I think it was well executed for him to be so transparent on how he may even predict Kamikaze being received.
Yeah.
That was cool. Standout tracks on the album for me, The Ringer was cool. Opening up with that was like setting the stage.
Setting the bar, yep.
Like plane crashes, this is what's going on. Here's what it is,
Yes.
And then we get into Greatest, which and shout out to my boy Jonathan Morales, who is from La Cocina community, and he brought to my attention like, Greatest was kind of like Eminem old school,
Yeah.
You kind of got like the original troll Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, in all essence, for me, yes, 50 did a lot of trolling, but Eminem kind of opened that door for that trolling in a sense, if you think about Eminem and his past content.
Yeah.
So
he's very particular about the way he goes about it and the things that he says.
Yes.
It's very, like, he just has a way with words, if that's a way that you can say it.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. What else then there was, can we take a moment to acknowledge Joyner Lucas?
Unlucky You.
That
was dope.
I sense a best hip hop duo award somewhere for that.
Yeah.
For 2018.
It has to be. The flow was so, from the both of them.
Yes.
It was so in sync that at one point, like, I had to hear Eminem's gritty voice to differentiate between them. Like, I was like, oh, wait, that was Eminem. Like, they had the same flow throughout, and it was so good. I think they did a great job there.
Yeah, I totally think they nailed that. That was, like, for me, that was almost, I almost wish it was a little bit further down in the track list, because that, to me, was definitely, like, the climax of the album, where I was just like... clutches pearls. I can't believe like he just pulled out that flow. But yeah, I did like Lucky You. What other songs were on there that stood out? I mentioned Stepping
Stones.
Yeah,
that was a very good one too.
Girl, he really kind of, and that was something that I think we were all curious about, was the whole D12 situation. We kind of never really knew what the logistics were.
Right.
for him to clear it up that way, and again, be just so open, so honest,
Transparent.
and transparent about that. You know, like, I'm sorry if, you know, you didn't think that I put as much effort into building with you. You know, like, that's mature, you know. So for the critics who said that, you know, his album was a little immature, boof that, you know. No. He was definitely age appropriate in this material. I think that he handled it like a man, and he handled his handles on that song. Mm-hmm. You know,
I agree.
Other than Stepping Stone, what else was there? I forget the name of the track list already.
I don't know. Those were. It's hard for me because I had those really good ones. I had them on repeat a lot. Like I wanted to get the full scope of what he was saying, and like. He raps very fast.
Yes, he does.
So some of the songs I would have to like replay. Can you run that by me one more time? Because I didn't really catch that.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember saying when I first heard Rap God, we were kind of talking about that before. I was like, yo, he's so good. Like, look how fast he's going. And now it's like, well, you've outdone yourself. Now Rap God is not like. Now this is like the bar. Do you have your phone?
Can we pull up the rest of his track list? Because I don't want to misquote or because you know, guys. I need to get it together, but neither here nor there. I know that Venom I didn't care for, unfortunately.
It was for the soundtrack, though.
I know,
so it had to be.
It didn't feel
like it belonged in the CD. Yeah, like I guess the rest of what he was trying to do, and then sticking that in there just so that it could be.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. I honestly didn't even like Kamikaze either. Here's my thing. Here's the only quarrel that I have and bone to pick that I have with Eminem. I find that sometimes Eminem finds one track and he names the entire album on that one track, and then I get to that one track and it's not as good as I had anticipated it being. And I didn't feel that Kamikaze was a track that was worth naming the whole album after.
No. I think it's because he started with The Ringer.
Yeah.
And because that was such a like blow your mind moment, like to listen to him and you know how he just went in on everybody and their mother, you know, and the whole state.
Which is another thing. Like I was literally like, I'm conflicted because I love Joe Budden, you know, but when I realized like Homeboy really dropped this surprise album on the night before Joe Budden's birthday. If that's not petty, I don't know what is. I really don't.
That's savage.
You know, like, he was just like, oh, so you have a new show called State of the Culture. It's coming out September 10th. Oh, your birthday's tomorrow. You know what? Release. Let's leak this to the world and see how you like that.
I wasn't expecting it at all either.
Nobody was.
It showed, well, that's the whole thing of a surprise album, right? But like it showed up on my feed, and like I feel like I haven't heard of
You were the one that put me on because I didn't even know. I got to work and I'm like,
what? Who?
Eminem, like rapper Slim Shady, like Real Slim Shady, please stand up. That Eminem,
the Shady that was shady enough to throw.
Release. Listen, if ever anybody ever wondered why he was called Slim Shady before, we got the memo now. Yes. All right. So, what did you think of Good Guy and was it Good Guy, Nice Guy?
Nice Guy and Good Guy were
Nice Guy and Good Guy.
Two different tracks.
With Jessie Reyez, newcomer Jessie Reyez. What'd you think?
I
like Jessie. I don't think that she necessarily brought to the table Gray has or other females that he's collaborated with before, but she was different, and I almost kind of appreciated her different musicality with her vocals. You know,
yeah,
there's a lot of texture in there.
A lot of texture.
I liked it. No, I did like it. It took a while. It took actually a few listens for me to get into it. I don't know about you.
That was one of the tracks that I kind of, because I listened, like I said, I had a few tracks on like repeat.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the tracks that I kind of like, I heard once, and then I kind of like went through it because I was so wrapped up in listening to a few of the other ones.
Yeah.
That I didn't really gain that appreciation yet.
Yeah.
I think I have to, I definitely for sure I'm going to go back.
Came out, so, you know, it's going to take a little bit to digest. But it grew on me. It definitely grew on me. The album itself, I would give a solid 7.5. I would give it an 8 when I think of how shady he was when he did it. You know, I think the packaging of it, and I think that in conclusion, Eminem, I know you probably never watch this, but whoever you have on production, keep them. Maybe upgrade a little bit in certain production portions because it did seem a little dated. Like I can almost tell, no shade, I can almost tell when Dre was producing the record as opposed to when other people were. But that's to be expected, and only Dre can capture that M sound, that signature sound. So I wasn't too upset with that. But I would say keep the production team and stick with the surprise promo stuff. Like the marketing on this for me, top notch. Like
for real.
Shocking the culture, doing it the night before Joe Budden's birthday. Whoever came up with this whole schema of things nailed it.
For real. You're gonna be shady, do it all the way.
Yeah. Nailed it. So also, just to transition, rest in peace to both Aretha Franklin, who we lost recently, and Senator John McCain. That was 2 losses that were just like, man, too bad. It was, death as always comes in threes, and it's always like back to back kind of thing. And I always find that, not to be biased, but it's some of the nicest people, that go.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I mean?
Yeah. It's people that you don't really, that it's heartfelt when they go. It's like, oh, it's very sad.
Yeah.
But speaking of, did you hear about the shooting that had happened in Florida in the game?
Yeah, dude.
That was like intense.
My thoughts and prayers
there's
with,
so
with
much
those
going
people. Jacksonville, Florida itself. I mean,
it's been getting hit.
Yeah, and it's just a shame that we have yet, as a country, to find a resolution for these issues, and it's just become to a point where there are at least like 4, almost a month. It feels like.
And I actually saw someone post about it where they were like, it took one time for a failed shoe bomb to happen in an airport, and now from then on to forever, everybody has to take their shoes off in an airport.
Yeah.
But yet in the past, X amount of years, there's been so many shootings in like schools and these public places where it's like you shouldn't even have a weapon there.
Right.
Which is a very sensitive topic. I'm not confirming nor denying if I am pro-gun or not.
Right.
I am just in general. It's very sad that people have access to this and they just they're not mentally there.
Yeah, no, I definitely get what you mean. Like it's one of those things where we see both sides of the coin, being from the East Coast, being from Jersey. We know of the dangers that are out there, and we experience them every day in our day-to-day lives. And we can understand why one would want to protect themselves, but we also know that there are people that are out there that don't have the capacity or really shouldn't be allowed to.
And it's so easily accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. And I feel bad. My thoughts and prayers go out to all of those who were affected in that mass shooting out in Jacksonville, Florida for the Madden tournament. It's just sad because this is such a new medium and new platform for gamers, to do this with, these tournaments and Twitch and all of these different platforms that, are coming about. And it's such a shame that things are ruined by heinous crimes like this.
Unstable people.
Yeah. Absolutely. But,
on that note.
that was trending topics for today. We have Janine Hernandez that is coming to talk about all of her new stuff as an author, speaker, entrepreneur, mentor. So you're not going to want to miss it. It's coming your way soon. Like how soon? Right now.
Like
soon.
right now.
Hey, it's your girl, daniree. We are back at it again with another La Cocina podcast episode. This is episode 11 of La Cocina podcast, and joining me is my very brand new co-host, Adriana Rivera. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
All right. So, and we also have in the building a very special guest all the way from Arizona, Give it up for Miss Janine Hernandez. She is a speaker, a mentor, an author, and an entrepreneur. Did I get all of that correct?
You got it right.
Okay, good. Now we're starting fresh here. So, Janine, tell me a little bit about how you got started, just in general with your writing. Let's start with your writing. Let's go there first.
So I have been writing since I was 12 years old. It's been a passion of mine ever since I was little. Ever since I was little, I've always known that this is what I wanted to do when I grew up.
Right.
And obviously I had, in life, detours, things that pulled me off course. But once I turned about 23, 24, I just remembered that that's what I wanted to do. And I started just meeting other authors and learning as much as I can and having them mentor me. And then I started writing books. It just happened.
Wow. So originally this wasn't a part of your plan. It's just something that kind of came about, or was it something that you had intended to eventually get into? Like, was it your inspiration to write
A book, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, since I was 12, I always wanted to write a book. So, and I remember being young and my mom would try and help me. She would try and do research and find out how to publish a book. And we didn't know. We didn't have the resources for it. But as I grew older, then I started learning and just getting mentors and things like that. Then I was like, okay, let's get this done. And it became a little easier. The first book, obviously, my first book is called Through My Eyes.
Yes.
That book was, I guess, trial and error. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I just kind of did it, winged
Right.
it. And then the second book called Feathers in the Sky, I'm a little bit more prepared and ready for it.
So let's talk about your first book. Tell me a little bit more about that, because I know it was poetry and it was more personal, was it not? It was more about you?
It's called Through My Eyes, and it's poetry and short stories through my eyes. So I talk about love, heartbreak, my child. I talk about just a little bit about everything, family. And it was very personal because these are poems that I've been writing since I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I guess, difficult for me because it's part of being vulnerable and putting yourself out there for people.
Right.
But yeah, that's what the first book is about. It's just more on a personal level.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And how was that book received for you? Was it received well in your opinion? Did you get what you wanted out of that first book?
I did. I would have to say it's a little difficult to sell a poetry book because not everyone reads poetry. So your market is very small, not small, but it's a very specific market. So I've learned that with future books, I'd be a little bit more diverse in what I offer my audience.
That's actually one of the things that I wanted to ask you was, right, you started with this poetry. What is it that got you into saying, the dynamic of this book is so different? What kind of made you change your dynamic as to how to write?
So the second book is called Feathers in the Sky. I'm so excited about it. And honestly, it just happened. I had this really strong gut feeling that, okay, I'm going to write a second book and it's going to be a children's book. And that feeling just started getting stronger and stronger. And I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to write about? What is it going to be about? I kept thinking about it. And I knew that one day it would just come to me. So I was driving one day, literally, and it just came to me. Okay, I'm going to write about feathers, and it's going to be a story about a girl named Juju. Juju's my niece. And it just came to me. I was in my car. I started the story just came, and I started doing a voice clip.
Nice.
Literally, within 5 minutes. And then I'm like, that's it. Wrote it. I went home. I wrote it, and then it just became
That's awesome.
the book. Yeah.
Okay, so your niece inspired the book. And her likeness is on the front cover. But what made you think, you know what, this needs to be my niece? What inspired your niece to be that character? Where did it come from?
She's so spontaneous, and she's spunky and alive, and she's so funny, and every time I see her, she's just so alive,
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just had this feeling okay, this book is going to be about her. She's going to be the main character.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. I like that. And so, what's the name of the main character in the book?
Her name is Juju.
Okay.
So this is Juju. She's my niece.
All right, you pull it up a little bit.
Okay.
I'll show you right there. Yep. Perfect.
So this is Juju. She's the main character.
Uh-huh.
And pretty much the story is about a little girl named Juju, and she sees feathers all around her. So it's a story about her life and seeing different colored feathers. Each feather represents something different. So, for example, green is money, and red is love, and white, it means that your angels are around and protecting you. So, in the story, she does get, I wouldn't say bullied, but there is a part in the story where she's a little upset with someone in school that's bothering her. And then towards the end, I come in and I help her see and just remind her to just follow the signs of the universe, follow her intuition, stay positive and motivated. So it's a very uplifting and motivating book for children.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the concept of it. So it's at feathers dot in the sky. All of those dots. It's on the bottom. So don't worry. We have all of that. So they'll be able to follow along. So now let's talk about, because your situation is different in the sense that you actually have your own publishing company, right? Public purpose-driven initiatives.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about how you got started with that, or like what inspired that.
Well, like I mentioned, when I was younger, I always wanted to publish a book. And when my mom and I were doing research, I always told her, I'm like, I don't want to go through a normal, like, regular publishing company, because they take mostly all of the royalties,
Right.
and they pretty much own you and what you write. So I decided, well, I'll just open up my own, like, that's it. I'm just going to do it myself. So I opened up my own company, my own publishing company. And what I do in a sense right now is I do more consulting work. So I help other authors publish their books. So whatever they need, if they need an editor, if they need book formatting, book covers, things like that. So I can do a la carte, or I do the full thing. I can do the full thing for them. Obviously, it's a higher fee, but if you're a busy author, you just wrote a story and you have no idea how to do it, I can do it from A to Z for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And hopefully in the future, with more time, I'll be able to, get a little bit more advanced in the company. I'll be able to offer a little bit more services and be a full launched publishing company. But for now, we're starting with consulting work.
For now.
Just
For now.
Just a tad.
Just a little bit for now.
Okay, so now, for those of you who don't remember, from our first season, Janine was actually the one who sent us her tea from her tea line, JJ and Sons Tea. Wasn't the hibiscus delicious?
Yes, it was.
I'm telling you.
I'm a coffee girl, but that tea might have just flipped the switch for me, because it was so good.
We didn't really need much. We didn't add any sugar, as a matter of fact.
No sweeteners.
We kept it as is and very simple, but we loved it. And anybody that came on the show and tried it loved it. So talk to us about how you got started with your tea.
Well, I love tea. I always have loved tea. And I always thought, okay, so if this is like my, I guess, hobby, I don't know, or just a passion of mine, why not make money off of it? That's just how my mind works. And I also thought that it would be great to sell tea. I always picture someone reading their book on the couch with their, blanket and a cup of tea. So I wanted to offer something that can go well with the books as well. So I opened up the company last year. I'm still in the process of launching. Obviously, the book has been taking a lot of precedence over the tea company.
Right.
But I'll be doing a full tea, party launch probably around February of 2019.
Is it going to be a tea party?
Yes.
Like an actual tea party?
I believe I think I'm going to do a tea party, and I'll probably do some motivational speaking, have a couple of motivational speakers, probably some poetry, and
That's awesome.
just a good, afternoon brunch tea type thing. It'll be fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I really, you know what? I really admire your hustle, and just, there's not many, not that there's not many, there are plenty, but there's not many females who are single moms and who really are out there just getting it. And in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? Like with you, you have your tea, you have your publishing company, you have your books. And it's like you totally put into consideration your son and the kind of legacy that you want to leave behind. You know, so would you, looking back, would you say that all of this has led up to this moment? Like, is this a moment of serendipity for you when you look back and you see what you've already accomplished and what you're accomplishing?
It's almost, it feels like too good to be true kind of feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I always had this, like, dream or vision or passion for what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I've gotten to the point now where I get, I attract so many people, and so many people are like looking for me to do podcasts, to do interviews, to do this, and they just come from everywhere. And I'm just like, it's not overwhelming, but it's just like, oh my God, I'm here. Like, I'm living my dream. I'm finally am like in my purpose, you know? And it's kind of like a aha moment. Like, is this happening for real? Pinch me, you know?
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Like you mentioned, my son, I do get to have him along the ride with me. I was recently on the news. I did a news
saw
report.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I brought him with me. So he was there in the studio. He was like, oh my God, he's looking around and he's taking pictures. And I try and bring him to as many things as I can. We go do tea events. So he comes and he sells stuff as well.
That's awesome.
He wears his little JJ and Sons t-shirt or whatever.
Oh my God.
So he's in it with me, you know. We do it together as much as we can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great.
And Adriana, do you have any questions for? Because I know that you mentioned you may have a question for Janine.
So, with all these things that you have accomplished already, I'm curious, like, what does your success? What does success, right? Complete success look like to you? You know, like, here you are, you're here, but like, what is gonna be? Do you believe that moment where you're like, I've done it. I have done it.
Okay, so my definition of success for myself will be a lot different than others. But
Yeah. honestly,
it's seeing my son see me do this. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but having him look at me and say, "Wow, that's my mom." That's
Yeah.
my
Making him proud of you.
Yes, having my
awesome.
son
That's
be proud of
beautiful.
me and say, "Wow, that's my mom doing all of those things." That's my version of success. And
Yeah.
I think I'm already there.
Yeah.
He's already very like, "Wow," you
He's
know.
seeing it.
So that's that I feel like, okay, I'm being successful. Cuz I don't think there's anything else that can determine or tell me, you know, okay, now you've
That
reached
you're
success.
successful,
I was like, no,
right.
my son.
It's that feeling.
Yep.
That's awesome. You're going to continue writing? Do you have upcoming ideas or
So I started writing my third book. I still haven't,
already? Hello.
I still don't have a title for it. I am going to be taking some time off in the fall because I've just been going nonstop for a complete year trying
You
to get
really
this.
have though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
I
get
keep
this-
up with you on social media. And I'm
For
like,
real,
there
it's
she goes
busy.
again.
Yep.
Yeah.
She goes again.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going to take some time off in the fall to just focus on me and my son. And then I think I'll really be able to finish the third book and then do it again next year.
Wow.
Are you going to stay within the genre of spirituality or children's books, or are you looking?
This will be an adult book. It will be motivational. I will talk about some spiritual topics such as like gratitude, love, compassion, those things that are important to me. Overcoming fear and just all of those motivating factors. I haven't really pinpointed if it will just be more of a spiritual book or if I'll tie in some entrepreneur stuff as well. I think it might be a hybrid of both, but I have started writing it, so I'm excited.
That's definitely something to look forward to. I feel like a lot of people want to they see your success or, you know, the success of an entrepreneur and they're like, man, how can I get to that point? And just kind of having those little hints thrown in, those little tips. I feel like
Now,
that's something to look
do you
forward to.
find that it's more so having the need to have a balance with all the things that you do, or are you the obsessive type where it's like, I have to get this done, or you get what I'm saying? Like, do you have a way of managing this stress? Because it is a lot. It's a lot
It
of
is.
pressure, I can imagine. You know, so how do you cope with that?
And I work full time, so I'm a full time HR manager. I have my
Right.
son, and then I have the businesses. It can be stressful at time, and I'm always on the go. And so this year I've actually learned that I need to balance my time.
Right.
So I do my best to meet up with my girlfriends for happy hour, go out on dates and just do different things, because if not, being a workaholic all the time is not healthy
Yeah.
for our mental state. So, yeah, I just try to balance stuff out. And then, like I said, I am very well aware that I need a break. So I will be taking just 3 months off to just relax and just focus on more hobbies. Like, I want to learn how to play the drums. I'm going to do that this fall.
awesome.
That is kick-ass.
It's
Yeah.
very random.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to do that this fall. So
But let me just plug it in one more time. All of the stuff that you have going on. So you have purpose-driven initiatives. That's one thing. That's your publishing company. It's just to recap on all the wonderful things that Janine has going on here.
She's got a list.
She also has the tea. Now we're all in here. I love this. I'm looking for a new switcher, by the way, in case anybody's interested. Just shameless plug real quick. You also have Feathers in the Sky, which is available like everywhere at this point, right?
it'll be available on the 15th of this month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And
September.
as well as the other book, Through My Eyes, that's still obviously available.
Yep.
Where's that available?
It's available on my website, pdi-publishing.com, and then on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and eBay.
And I will definitely link all of that stuff in the description below so you guys can take a look at all of that. My last question for you, unless you have any more, Adriana. Do you have any?
I think we're good.
Okay.
We're very thorough.
Okay. So my last question for you for this is, if you could give one piece of advice to anybody who is aspiring to do what you've done, with whether within publishing a book, creating a tea line, or just any type of entrepreneurship, what advice would you give them? What would you say?
I would say for me, the advice that I would give is you don't have to ask anyone permission to follow your dreams. That's one that resonates the most with me, because I feel like oftentimes, I used to do this. I used to wait for validation from other people to be able to do what I wanted.
Right.
And you don't need to. I mean, if you want to own your own tea company, go do it. You don't have to go ask permission from anyone. And then always never take no for an answer, because you can get 100 no's, and then there's going to be that one person that will give you that yes. And a prime example was the news, the news outlet. At night, it's hard for me to sleep sometimes because I'm always like a mile a minute. But I was messaging a lot of different news reporters, and then finally I got one yes. And are you serious? I got a yes? So never take no for an answer, because there will be someone out there that's going to be interested in what you're doing and support you and back you up, and they'll go with you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
So thank you again to Janine Hernandez. She is a speaker, a mentor, an author, an entrepreneur, and pretty much all around badass, I would say. Right,
Thank you.
Adriana? That's
Thank
about
you.
sums it up. So thank you again for coming out. We appreciate you, and we look forward to all the exciting things that you have coming.
Thank you, ladies, so much for having me. I really appreciate you both, and
Yeah.
all of your success that you ladies have as well. I
Thank
look up
you.
to you, and thank you so much.
All right. And that has been our interview with Janine Hernandez. All right, so that about wraps it up for us here at La Cocina Podcast for episode 11, True Colors. I want to thank you all for joining us. A special shout outs, obviously, to my brand new co-host, Adriana Rivera.
Aquí estamos. Tirando el español.
Yes, yes. So let's remind them real quick again, Adriana, where to find us on all social media. Let's start with Instagram. How about that?
Ok, nos puede encontrar en www.instagram.com. How do you say backslash in Spanish?
Girl, we're not doing all that.
La
It's just
Cocina Podcast.
It's just at La Cocina Podcast on Instagram, girl.
La Cocina Podcast en la plataforma de Instagram.
Right, exactly. And then there's Facebook. You can follow us there at La Cocina Podcast on Facebook. And finally, do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at La Cocina Podcast. Right?
Yes.
Of course.
En YouTube, La Cocina Podcast. No te lo pierdas que estamos cocinando cosas buenas, ¿ok?
Okay. Todo eso. Okay, so now, no, that was it. That was really all I had for the announcements. Who am I kidding? So I'm your girl, daniree. You can follow me at I am daniree. This has been Adriana Rivera at adri.riv. And we will see you next Sunday. Same time, same place, live as always.
No te lo pierdas.
Okay? Good night.